Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Namaha Om Namah Pranavaर्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye
यं प्रीति विचिकित्सा
चिकित्सा
मनुष्ये
मनुष्ये
astityeke nayamastiti chaike
अस्तीत्येके नायमस्तीति चैके
etad vidya manushishtastvayaham
ये तद्विद्या
तद्विद्या
मनुष्यस्त्वयाहम्
मनुष्यैस्तस्त्वयाहम्
paranamesha varastritiyah.
वराणामेष
वराणामेष
वरस्तृतीयः
वरस्तृतीयः
Question is a very common question that all of us have at some time or the other. I can't imagine any single person who has not wondered what happens after the body dies. I'm sure if you examine your own past, at some point you have asked this question. Is that the end of the person? Or is there something more to it? Everybody, including children, we definitely, as children have asked, now our children are asking the same question. I'm sure all of you have experienced child coming and saying, Papa, what happens after death? Some uncle died. Where did he go? What happened to him? Every child, at some point, each one of us asks this question. What happened? Where does the person go? In fact, children ask very interesting questions. One child, 4, 5 years old, came and asked Swamiji, same question, what happens when somebody dies? Can I still talk to that person? I find it so useful to talk to that person. I like talking to that person. Can I still talk to that person? Does that person exist in some form? And apparently what had happened was she had asked the same question to her parents. And as is typical, we think the children will not understand. They will tell them, or because we don't know, we spin a story. We tell them, you become a star. See the stars there? One of them is your uncle or grandmother or whatever. But child may take it, but still has that question in the mind. We all tend to give up the question because we can't find the answer. We draw our own conclusions. And those conclusions becomes our belief, our faith. And sometimes we become very vehement because it's my faith. After death of the body, I will go to heaven. There is a gatekeeper called Saint Peter sitting there with a ledger. And he will direct people to go either to heaven or to hell. There are only two possibilities. If I have lived life as I was told to live, I will go to heaven. Otherwise, I go to hell. There are enough jokes about this. I'm sure all of you have heard. How one fellow was shown both the heaven and the hell. Hell was vibrant. A lot of things are happening. People were dancing and having drinks and so on. And heaven was boring. He said, this is not what I expected. So he chose hell because you get no choice. And then Savior said, okay, we'll send you there. And this time when he went there, he really found hell. Boiling oil, people screaming, all the rest of those things. And he complained. I said, what is this? This is not what you showed me. He said, that was only promotion. This is the truth. Like there's many jokes about heaven and hell floating around. We don't know. Every religion has something about this. The difference between accepting that religious text as a pramana and accepting Shastra as a pramana is a stark difference. All those faiths, they will tell you, this is the way it is. Don't ask any more questions. I'm telling you, you live like this, you will go to heaven, eternal heaven, and you will enjoy yourself. Or if the other kind of religions, you go to Jannat, and you will have 27 huris waiting for you. But you should do what I tell you to do. That is the condition. The difference is, when you study Shastra, Shastra tells you that there are various lokas. You go to a different loka depending upon what you do. But it doesn't say you accept it because I tell you. It says, once you accept this as pramana, like in the other cases also, there is Shraddha. There's a huge difference between Shraddha and faith. And the difference comes from the fact, in Shraddha, I accept it, but I am encouraged to examine it. I'm encouraged to ask questions and not stop till I have found the answers. In every other faith, you're simply told you do because I tell you to do. Till the next guy comes and says, no, that fellow is telling you, showing you heaven. I will show you better heaven. You follow what I tell you to do. Changes. The difference between faith and Shraddha in the Shastra is this. Shraddha is not faith, it's not blind following. Why do we make so much effort? Try and understand what is going on. Why do we study Upanishads? Why do we follow a certain practice of sadhana? So that we can question, think, analyze, do mimamsa, and arrive at the truth on our own, with the help of a guru. But this doubt, universally, every human being has. So Nachiketa says, we do an Anvaya, what he says, it will read like this. Manushye prete sati, sati saptami, after the death of the body. Here, Manushya, you thinking about it, only not to think about yourself, you think about everything. Suppose you have a pet dog in the house. And this happens very commonly because dogs have a smaller lifespan than you do. The dog dies. So as best as you know, you go and bury the dog, do whatever mantra you think you know, say a few mantras, but you still start wondering what happened to that dog. I had called the dog Tommy. What happened to Tommy? Where did he go? Or somebody's parent dies. And he says, is he sitting somewhere there and watching me? These questions are natural, prakriti. So any being, whether it is a dog or a pet, other pet or a stray bird, you do start thinking, what happened to that bird? What happened to that person? Is he still around somewhere where I don't have access? Have you not asked this question of yourself? This doubt is there. It is a natural doubt. So Nachiketa says, Manushya prete sati. What happened? Ya iyam vichikitsa. This is the doubt. This is the doubt. When somebody dies, you see a person you've known for a long time or a pet you've known for a long time dies, you have this doubt. Ya iyam vichikitsa. Then some people have thought this and arrived at the inference that ayam asti iti eke. Eke is some people, a lot of people. Yes, he continues to exist. I don't know in what form, I don't know where, but the person continues to exist, or the pet continues to exist. So, ayam asti iti eke manyate. Others, na asti iti cha eke. No, that's not true. This is the end of that. Charvakas. Dehe nashte, sarve nashte. There is nothing after that. Because I can't see anything. I depend on my pramana, my pancha pramana. I can't see anything, therefore nothing exists. And these are inferences drawn by ourselves based on our own thinking, our own experiences, our own analysis. If it does exist, then further questions come. In what form? Where? What is the person doing? Is he suffering? Or is he having a nice life? All those questions will come. Does he have more power than he had before in the form that I knew him? Will he be able to guide me? Can I do a planchette and connect with him? All those questions will come. Nachiketa asks Yamadharmaraja, this is a common doubt. The Vichikitsa. And since there is no definitive answer, people make up their own stories around it. Some people say there is something and this is what happens to it. Some people say there is nothing. That is the end. So he says, Tvaya anushishtaha. Being taught by you, yetad vidya, this knowledge, aham, vidyam aham. I want to understand, I want to know, being taught by you. This is my third boon that you granted me, this is what I want. Later he will say, there is nobody better than you to teach this. You are Lord Mrityu. Who else will know better about what happens after mrityu of the body? You are the one who is going to have to teach me. I am fortuitous that in some circumstances that have arisen, I am now in your presence. Which is a benefit nobody has in the world. To go to somebody who understands what happens and to learn from that person the truth of what happens post-death. So, Varanam Esha Varasthathiyaha. Bashyam. Yeyam Vichikitsa Samshayaha.
येयं विचिकित्सा संशयः
Prete Mrite Manushye.
प्रेते मृते मनुष्ये
Asti Ityekaha.
अस्ति इत्येकः
Asti Sharirendriya Manobuddhi Vyatiriktah.
अस्ति
अस्ति
शरीर
शरीरेन्द्रिय
मनोबुद्धि
मनोबुद्धि
व्यतिरेकः
व्यतिरिक्तः
Dehantar Sambandhyatma.
देहान्तर
देहान्तरसम्बन्ध्यात्मा
सम्बन्ध्यात्मा
Eke Manyante.
एके
एके
मन्यन्ते
मन्यन्ते
Manyante is a plural. Eke Manyante. A group of people, a lot of people accept, believe that this Chikitsa, this Samshaya, Prete, Mrite Manushye, where, like I said, Manushya includes any being. Asti iti eke, which Acharya says, Asti Sharira Indriya Mano Buddhi Vyatiriktaha. Other than the body mind sense complex, there is something which survives the death of the body. And this Dehantara Sambandhi Atma is there. It takes another Deha. This Deha is gone, it's buried or burnt. But that whatever it is, which is Dehantara, Sharirendriya Mano Buddhi Vyatiriktaha, other than all of these, takes on another Sharira. This is some people's belief. Some other people, na ayam asti iti
न अयमस्ति इति
cha eke.
च एके
This is taken from the Mula Mantra. Nayam asti iti chaike is the Mula Mantra. Okay. What Acharya says? Na ayam evam vidaha.
न अयम् एवं विधिः
विदः
Asti iti cha eke.
अस्तीति च
च
एके
It is not like that. Many people say, no, that's not true. Nothing exists post the Sharira. Sharira is Atma. Dehatma, thinking. Deha is the Atma. This you cannot know by using your five senses. That is all that we know how to use. And from that we have these means of knowledge. Pratyaksha, Anumana, and all the others that go with it. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi. These are the listed five pramanas that we use. Direct perception using the five senses, one or more of the five senses. Indirect perception by perceiving something and having a invariable concomitant connection, drawing some other inference. Through the use of examples, upamana, through multiple observations and multiple connections, arthapatti, or through observing non-presence, anupadabdhi, at a particular time of a particular object in a particular place. This is all we know how to gain anything in this world. And we've been doing this from childhood. Unfortunately, he says, Ataha
अतः
asmakam na pratyakshena
तस्माकं न प्रत्यक्षेण
napi va anumanena
नापि वा अनुमानेन
nirnaya vijnanam.
निर्णयविज्ञानम्.
This doubt cannot be cleared by observation, direct observation, by any of the other means of learning. Therefore, we're all stuck. We're all stuck with our own inferences. Knowing at the back of the mind that I have drawn the inference, there could be a possibility of an error. Some people don't even accept that. They become dogged about their inference. But you know that you cannot get this through either pratyaksha or anumana or any of the other means that we know. How can you then know? This is one of the big questions we'll have in Shastra. You say it is not available for senses, it is not available for words. How am I going to know? There has to be a pramana, a means of knowledge for this. And that means of knowledge is Shastra. There's a whole argument behind why Shastra is the means for knowing. You define what the means of knowledge is. You define how knowledge takes place. And you examine whether anything at all can give you this knowledge. You will inevitably come to the conclusion that only Vedanta Shastra can give you this knowledge. So that Shastra Pramana has to be accepted. Therefore, you are an astika if you accept the Shastra Pramana and are willing to work at trying to figure out what is the correct information that you gain from the Shastra. Shastra is in the form of words. By themselves, those words are what is called aparavidya. They're not going to be able to give you the parajnanam. But those words, correctly understood through the help of a guru, becomes parajnana, paravidya. In such a situation, etad vijnanah,
एतद्विज्ञानः
vijnanah hi parapurusharthah.
परपुरुषार्थः.
This knowledge, look at how Acharya interprets Nachiketa's question. This knowledge of clearly understood whether there is something post the death of the body, what is it, where is it, how is it, what happens to it, this knowledge alone is our source for Paramapurushartha, moksha. That is the knowledge. So, etad vijnana adhinaha adhina hi parapurushartha ityataha
इत्यतः
etad vidyam
एतद्विद्यां
vijaniyam.
विजानीयाम्.
Therefore, this is the knowledge I want. Obviously, Nachiketa knows something about moksha. He also knows moksha is just matter of understanding, of removing wrong understanding. Ajnana nivritti. He may not have the depth of understanding yet, but he knows this much. And is therefore asking Yamadharmaraja, I have had the fortune to be with you, a Devata, who can explain this to me. How many people have this fortune of having a guru who can explain this to you? Some punya I have done somewhere. So this is the knowledge I want. Itetaha etad vidyam vijaniyam. Therefore he says, aham anushishtaha
Aham anushishtaha
jnapitaha
Yapitaha
napitaha
tvaya jnapitaha tvaya anushishtaha. By you taught. By you taught, I want to know. I want to understand this vidya. That is my third move. Varanamesha varat tritiyaha. This third vara which is left, I've already asked two of the three varas. This is the third one that is left. Varanamesha
Varanamesha
varanameshaha
varat tritiyaha
Varastitiya
varastitiyaha
avashishtaha.
Avasishtaha
avashishtaha
What is left? Two already taken care of. This is third. That knowledge of what survives the death of the body. What is the nature of that? Do I die with the body? Do I disappear with the body? That knowledge is what I am looking for. Fantastic. But you know that this knowledge is not easily given to people unless they show a certain readiness, a certain commitment. When Swamiji invited people for a long-term course, he did not check whether you got an MA or a PhD. He only wanted to know how committed you are to this knowledge. He knows that when you come to learn this, you know that there is something to know, like a Nachiketa, even if you don't know what it is. You know there is something called moksha, but I don't know what it is. I was the same boat. So what did Swamiji look for? The genuine interest. Is there a clarity in the mind that ekanta, one end, ekanta, is moksha jnanam, is something which is there. So you have looked at the world, you have gained something from the world, you've received something from the world, you have improved your lot from where you were, every day you improved it. In many ways, you are a better equipped person, better person than you were a year ago. But how far is the commitment? Is this to the exclusion of everything else? Even when you commit to doing a full-time course for 3 years, that itself shows a certain commitment. But you'll always find some people who are trying to run away from the world. Those are not people who are going to learn it. Only those who have clear commitment saying, I want to know, who clearly say to themselves, accept me as a Shishya. Very big thing. To go to a guru and say, accept me as a Shishya. In every Upanishad, you'll see this. Unless one approaches the Guru with that attitude, an inquiring mind, an open mind, and says, I really want to know. Guru, teaching is no good, neither to the Guru nor to the student. It's a waste of time for both. So Yamadharmaraja sees this young boy. From his questions, it is clear that he has understood something. But he still wants to check him out. I spend time and energy trying to teach him. If nothing goes into his head, it's no use to anybody. So he wants to check out Nachiketa. So Acharya says, Kimayam ekantataha
किमयम् एकान्ततः
nishreyasa sadhanam atmajnana arhaha
निःश्रेयस्साधन आत्मज्ञान अर्हः
nava
न वा
ityetat parikshanartham
इत्येतत्परीक्षणार्थम्
aha. So Raja says, is he ready? If I teach Nachiketa, will he understand? Kim ayam ekantataha. Is that end clear in his mind? That's something to learn. I want to learn. That nishreyasa sadhana atmajnana arha. Is he deserving of this knowledge? Is he ready for this knowledge? Arjuna was not given this knowledge till Arjuna made it clear that he wants to know. So in order to figure out, is he ready or is he not? Nava. Yamadharmaraja, iti yetat parikshanartham, to try and understand, to try and examine this boy, to see if he's ready. What does he say? Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura.
देवैरत्रापि विचिकित्सितं पुरा
Nahi suvignyeyam anuresha dharma.
न हि सुज्ञेयम्
धर्मः
Nahi suvignyeyam anuresha dharma. Anyam varam nachiketo vrinishva.
अन्यं वरं नचिकेतो वृणीष्व
Mamo parotsirati
Anyam varam
matrikainam.
मामोपरोत्सीरति मातृघ्नेनम्.
Saying, this little young boy wants to know something which is not so easy to understand. You want to know anything in the Jagat, in this world, you can make a certain effort and get it. It doesn't matter how high sounding it is. You can get it. Because it is knowledge of an object. Everything in the Jagat is an object, not necessarily a physical object, but it's an object, and anybody can gain that object knowledge. Because I am the Jnata. I am the Jnata. I want to know the Jnaya Vastu through the process of gaining Jnanam. Relatively easy. Even if you want to say you want to learn Einstein's relativity theory, you can study. You can learn. It is something other than what I think I am. But this knowledge is not that. This knowledge is about I. Everything gets complicated. Unless I change my whole approach and stop studying like an object, I will never get it. This is the problem. He says, Devaihi atra api vichikitsitam pura. Hey, even devatas have this problem. They have this doubt. I keep telling you, devatas are not Bhagavan. Devatas are only little higher exalted being compared to Manushya. If animals are one step lower, devatas are one step higher, that's all. They have a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more power. Animals have a little bit less knowledge, little bit less power than I. They also have the same doubt. But we discussed this earlier. They don't necessarily go into studying this. Even Manushya, 99.9% of the Manushya don't want to know. To get to Manushya Janma, where one has a very good opportunity for knowing, itself is very difficult. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. You get to know this truth. After many janmas. But one step before that is after many janmas as animals, as insects, as humans. Till you come to the state of a human, you won't even examine the situation. And only when you examine this, when you have the drive to know, to understand, can you gain this? And among the Manushya also, most of the 8.5 billion people in the world don't have access to this knowledge. So it is even smaller percentage of people who have access to this knowledge. You're born here where it is readily available. Born in a family where it is common to discuss this. You've done enough punya to look for this, to find a guru. Devaihi have the same problem. Animals don't have a problem because they can't think. They don't have that capacity yet. Devas might have the capacity, but they can't think. And they do have, not that they can't think, they don't think. Most of the time. In Kathopanishad, if you remember, Indra, Vayu, and Agni also try to find out. Eventually, Shruti itself in the form of Uma had to teach them. Even Devatas don't find it easy. And Devatas are supposed to be, like I said, better equipped than Manushya. More knowledge, more Shakti. Devaihi atra, atra means in this context. Api vichikitsitam, from a long time. Don't think you're the only one who has this doubt. Or that Manushyas have this doubt. Everybody has this doubt. Why? Nahi suvijneyam anuresha dharma. This dharma, this Atma Jnanam is not easy to gain. Suvijneyam, nahi suvijneyam. Shushtu vijneyam. You can't gain this easily, understand this easily. Because it is not an object. Our entire focus is on objects. Whole life we learn how to know something and we figure it out. Some of us figure it out better than the others. But we know if I can use these 5 pramanas, I can know anything. This is not available for these pramanas. Therefore, I cannot know it using these pramanas. Indriya atitaha you will come across many times. Not accessible to indriyas. Therefore, not accessible to any of the pramanas, dependent on the indriyas for their knowledge. Because this is anuhu esha dharma. Anuhu, one meaning is atom, the smallest particle. But here, anuhu really means it is very subtle knowledge. Guhyam. It is knowledge of the subject. How are you ever going to know? Unless first you negate all the concepts of I, the subject, and seriously look for the real understanding of I, the subject, you're not going to know. Which is why people who don't have access to this knowledge will never figure it out. You treat it like another object, this knowledge, you treat it as another object knowledge. Won't work. Therefore, hey Nachiketa, don't even try. This is not going to work. Anyam varam Nachiketo vrinishva. Look for something else. I am capable of giving you a lot. And I promised you 3 boons. The first 2 you asked for, without hesitation, I gave you. I gave you more than I had promised. Ask for something which is be worthwhile for you. I am anyam varam Nachiketo vrinishva. Ask for something else. This is useless. Not useless. It is not something you will. It's useless in the sense that it will not. I will always have the doubt whether I've taught you correctly. You will always have the doubt whether you've understood it correctly. This doubt will not go. Don't insist. No, I want only this knowledge. Don't be adamantine. Think what is useful to you immediately. Ma mo parotsirati ma srijainam. Yenam atisrija. Drop it. This is not worthwhile the effort that you have to put in. Ma, there are 2 ma's in this. One is mam. Ma, one is negation. Ma, mam, uparotsihi. Don't compel me. Don't force me to teach you this. This is not easy to teach or easy to learn. Drop it. Ma atisruja enam. Give it up. Bashyam. Deverapi atra.
देवैरपि यत्र
Atra is etasmin vastuni
एतस्मिन् वस्तुनि
vichikitsitam
विचिकित्सितं
samshayitam
संशयितं
pura purvam
पुरा पूर्वं
devaihi api atra meaning etasmin vastuni. This knowledge, this object that you're trying to, this para that you're trying to gain, they are also vichikitsitam, samshayitam. They also have the same doubts. You think you have doubts? Devatas also have. Nahi suvigneyam,
नहि सुविज्ञेयं
tushtu vigneyam.
सुविज्ञेयं
It is not easy to know. Tushtu vigneyam. Shrutamapi
श्रुतमपि
prakritairjanaihi.
प्राकृतैर्जनैः
Prakritairjanaihi, Swami Paramatmananda translated it as common people, normal people. People who naturally think of the body as I, and therefore death of the body means death of I. Very natural thing to think. For such people, even after they have heard the Shruti, Shrutamapi, even then it is not easy for them to understand. Yataha
यतः
anuhu sukshmaha
अणुः सूक्ष्मः
yesha atmakhya dharmaha
एष
एष
आत्मार्थधर्मः
आत्माख्यधर्मः
ataha anyam
अतः
अतः
अन्यम्
asagdigdha phalam. Asandigdham
असन्दिग्धफलम्
Sandigdham is subject to doubt. Asandigdham is that which is no doubt, which is clear. Asandigdha palam, that which the end is very
असन्दिग्धफलम्
clear. Varam nachiketaha vrinishva
वरं
वरं
नचिकेतः
नचिकेतः
वृणीष्व
mam.
मां
Here the ma refers to mam. Ma uparotsihi
मा
उपरोत्सीः
उपरोत्सीः
uparodham ma kashihi. Don't force me. Don't compel me. Adharvanam iva uttamarnaha
अधर्मणम् इव
अधर्वणः
उत्तमर्णः
atisruja
अतिसृज
अतिसृज
vimuncha
विमुञ्च
yena varam mam prati.
येन
येन
वरं
वरं
मां प्रति
We will go to the details of this in the next class. What Dharmaraja is trying to tell Nachiketa to drop this third vara. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.